Hello everyone. So today we'll do a grade 10th poem from First Flight, Amanda by Robin Klein. So this poem basically is written by Robin Klein, who writes poems which are related to children, especially teenagers, and he mostly points out their feelings, their inner feelings about the social norms, the society in which they live. Here in this particular poem, Robin Klein has expressed the views of a little girl, Amanda, who is constantly pointed out by her mother. Like you all can relate with this poem, especially the kids who are in the age group of 12 or 13, or they are teenagers. So whenever your mom points out something regarding your habits, regarding the way you should say it, how you should behave, etc., you will be able to relate how it makes you feel. So in this poem also, Robin Klein is pointing out Amanda's mother, who constantly nags her or points out her mistakes. Now, mistakes basically which she considers as a kind of code of conduct of the society, something, some rules which are laid down by the society, how to behave, how to sit, and how to act, etc. So a way of living basically. So here this poem deals with a very small girl, age can be, we can imagine it can be 12 to 13, between 12 and 13. So let's get started and let's see how Amanda is being treated by her mother or nagged by her mother, and how Amanda feels. So, in this complete poem, you will find that this poem is written in a way wherein you will find a lot of exclamatory sentences in the poem. So in one stanza you'll find dialogues in the form of exclamatory statements, or maybe in the form of interrogative statements from Amanda's mother, and in the next stanza, soon after that, it follows the kind of thoughts. We can't say a reaction of Amanda, because Amanda is not reacting to anything specifically, but we can say that the next stanza soon after that points out Amanda's inner thoughts and inner feelings, how the scolding of her mother, or how the nagging of her mother basically makes her feel. Right, so let's get started. Stanza 1. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. So in this first stanza, as you can see that the poet has used a lot of exclamatory statements. Now, when do we use exclamatory statements or exclamatory sentences? For requests or for orders. So as this poem is related with the mom's nagging at Amanda, so we can say that these are orders which are coming from Amanda's mother and not the requests. So we can consider these statements as orders from Amanda's mother. So she says, don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. So you can very much relate, with your own life, especially when you were 12 or 13 years old, when every time your mom used to tell you how you're supposed to sit, how you're supposed to behave, what should be your gesture, what should be your posture. So here Amanda's mother is telling her, maybe Amanda might be maybe having a habit of biting her nails. So her mother is saying, her mother is scolding her in one way and pointing at her and stating don't bite your nails. Okay, so you should not bite your nails, Amanda, she's saying. Then in next verse she's saying, don't hunch your shoulders. Now what do you mean by hunch? Hunch is to bend your back, okay, with your shoulders bent forward, okay, which creates a kind of a round shape at your back, कंधे झुका के बैठना. So her mom is pointing out her posture, wrong posture, and saying, don't hunch your shoulders, don't bend your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. So slouching is what? Slouching is to do something lazily. Okay, laziness. So she's saying, don't be so lazy, stop that laziness, Amanda, and sit up straight. Okay, so she, in these four verses, she is basically pointing out Amanda's habits and posture specifically. Now how this mom's nagging or scolding affects Amanda, let's see that. So in brackets you will find every time after Amanda's mother's words, you will find something written in brackets. The next stanza will be in brackets. So the brackets basically will denote Amanda's inner thoughts, okay, how she feels. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So, Amanda feels that because she's not liking her mom's nagging and scolding, so she wants to be free, she wants freedom. So, in imagination, she thinks that there is a languid emerald sea. Now, what do you mean by languid? Relaxed, okay, to get relaxed. So, she's thinking that there is a very calm, relaxed sea. Okay, there is a languid emerald sea, a very relaxed, very calm. What kind of sea? Emerald sea. Now sea is being compared with emerald. Emerald is a green colored precious stone. Okay, so the sea is being compared with emerald. Basically a metaphor is used here, which I'm going to discuss and talk about later. So then she thinks, she imagines that there's a very relaxed, calm, and a sea just like emerald, and where the sole inhabitant is me. So she's thinking that there is no one else in that sea. Who is the only soul? Only one. Who is living there? Who is reciting there? Who is inhabitant means to recite, to live. So who is the only inhabitant there? Amanda thinks that she is the only one in that sea who is drifting. What do you mean by the word drifting? Something which is carried slowly by the water. So when you move slowly with the movement of something, okay, by the force of something. So she's thinking that where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So here she's thinking that she's like a mermaid. So what is a mermaid? Mermaid is an imaginary you can say creature with the upper part of the body of that of a female human being, and the lower part of the body is just like a fish. Okay, so she is thinking that she is a mermaid drifting blissfully. That means blissfully, happily. So very happily she is being carried slowly by the water. Okay, so these are Amanda's thoughts as you can say the reaction, or as her inner feelings, what she imagines after her mom points out her mistakes. So here in these particular stanzas, we'll discuss the literary devices which are used. So the first literary device which is used is of course the rhyming scheme, the rhyming pattern. So the rhyming pattern here is A. So if you look at the verses, the lines, Amanda, Amanda, A, straight, B, and Amanda again, A. So B, A is the rhyme scheme of this particular stanza. Now in second stanza, the rhyme scheme which is used is C, 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 which is SEAC, me, and blissfully. So the sound of E, that means C, C, C. Now let's discuss the other literary devices. The other literary device which is used here is anaphora. So anaphora is what? Anaphora is the repeated use of a word at start of two or more lines. Okay, repeated use of word. So here when you will see the repeated use of word which is don't. So the first two verses, the first two words start with don't, D-O-N-T, don't. So this is anaphora, which is a literary device used by the poet. The next is assonance. Now what is assonance? Assonance is the use of a vowel sound. Okay, a very strong use of a vowel sound that of course gives a rhythmic pattern also to the poem. So when you will see the lines, don't hunch your shoulders. So the sound of O is very much prominent. The vowel sound of O is prominent there. So assonance is used there. Now next is alliteration. So alliteration is a device, a poetic device wherein the consonantal sound is very prominent, and the consonantal sound is usually used at the starting of the word. So when you will see this first stanza, stop slouching. Okay, so stop slouching, the sound of S, the sound of is very much prominent there. Okay, so that is alliteration, right, wherein the sound of S is being repeated at the start of closely placed words. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. Stop slouching, sit and straight. Next is imagine. The next literary device is imagery. Of course, imagery is when you read something, your mind creates the pictures of something, because the words are so strongly placed that your mind is tend to create a scene, a picture of whatever you are reading. So when you read these beautiful lines, basically the reaction or the imagination of Amanda, in every stanza wherein Amanda is imagining herself to be free, you will sense that imagination. So here when she is saying that she is drifting blissfully like a mermaid, a very strong picture of a mermaid gets created in your mind. Okay, next is illusion, which is of course illusion is the mention or the reference of a very well known person or place. So here the illusion is used in the form of a mermaid. So mermaid is a very well known imaginary creature which you must have read, and which has a very strong connotations or strong connections with the world of imagination. Okay, the next is repetition. So when you see a repetition, of course the word, the name of Amanda, because you can relate very well. Even your moms might be continuously taking your name again and again. So in a similar way you'll find the repetition of Amanda. So the repetition is basically used by a poet to stress upon something, right, or to emphasize something. So here the girl, through the girl's name, the emphasis is being laid on the center of attraction of the mother. That so the Amanda is always at the center of the thoughts of the mom specifically. Next is metaphor. So metaphor is basically a comparison which is derived between two different objects, two different things. So here the use of the word emerald sea. Okay, for green color of sea, being similar to the color of emerald, a precious stone. So there metaphor is used. Now I hope this much is clear to all of you. So we'll move on to our next pair of stanzas, right?